Sometimes, YouTube videos actually get better with time. Things that seemed normal or small at first end up looking smart, impressive, or ahead of their time later on. My name's Ryan, and these 8 videos are perfect examples of videos that aged like fine wine, starting with PewDiePie's video reacting to Ryan World's YouTube channel. At the end of 2016, the internet was buzzing about 5-year-old Ryan. His channel, Ryan Toys Reviews, was exploding, pulling billions of views from kids all over the world. The hype grew so much that major outlets like The Verge and USA Today began writing about him, suggesting that Ryan could one day surpass PewDiePie, who was the biggest creator on the entire platform at the time. And it didn't seem far-fetched because in the final week of 2016 alone, Ryan's channel pulled in over 182 million views, topping YouTube's weekly charts and even beating Shakira, who came in second with 116 million. Then, in January 2017, PewDiePie uploaded a video where he responded to the speculations about Ryan surpassing him.
Oh, what is this? 5-year-old threatens to dethrone YouTube king PewDiePie over my goddamn dead body!
After which he proceeded to review his own YouTube channel.
Most viewed video has 600 million views. What the What the actual What the
And while he didn't attack Ryan directly, he made it clear that something about the situation felt off.
I'm sure he loves it. You know, I'm sure I would love when I was a kid to open a bunch of toys. But at the same time, it's like, it's something off about it.
It was obvious that Ryan's parents were heavily involved, using their son for money, fame, and views. PewDiePie then compared the situation to traditional child stars on television.
It's kind of like seeing child stars on television, because you know, like, their parents are literally forcing them to do it.
Whose parents often run the show while sponsorships and brand deals flow in. And looking at most of his videos, they were essentially advertisements for Walmart and his product line, targeted at kids too young to understand they were being marketed to.
Subliminal advertising at its finest. Sponsored episodes. Yeah, it's clearly they're sponsored by Walmart. It's 100%, it's so clear.
To PewDiePie, the entire setup felt exploitative as he would go on to narrate.
But channel isn't just Ryan playing with toys anymore, whether he's going to Disneyland, getting a haircut, or running a fever. His parents are the ones deciding how much.
And it turns out, years later, those concerns would prove to be justified, because as Ryan grew older and entered his teenage years, he continued appearing in the same toy review videos, content he had clearly outgrown. What once felt harmless now looked uncomfortable, with many viewers believing he was forced to continue for the sake of the brand. That alone caused public backlash, with people supporting Ryan through comments like, "I'm very concerned with the amount of parents that post their kids all over social media. Ryan's World is one of the worst examples because at this point, it's just exploitation. I really hope laws are made against this sometime in the future, cause man, I can't imagine if a good chunk of my childhood was online." Another comment said, "Ryan's already super rich. His parents are money hungry to continue making him promote the channel. They should hang it up and call it a day." The situation became even clearer during a later podcast appearance with John Uche, where his parents were seen to contribute more than Ryan himself, despite him being the main guest of the show. And when Ryan was given the chance to speak, he repeatedly glanced at his father, seemingly seeking approval before finishing his thoughts, only for his father to nod or smile in reassurance. Ryan's parents then revealed that they were organizing a full feature movie about him, having set aside an extravagant budget for the entire production. For many viewers, this became a turning point, as it reflected how far Ryan's parents were willing to go just to make money out of their son's fame. Fans reacted through comments like, "The fact that they're making a movie about Ryan's World proves that his parents just care about money and not his life for real." The title should have been "Meet Ryan's Richest Billionaire Parents." And in addition to that, it also left people worried and questioning how much Ryan actually got to keep out of all of the income that he generated as a brand. But despite the large budget and the heavy promotion surrounding its release, the movie failed to generate meaningful interest, with early screenings showing mostly empty theaters. Eventually, Ryan's brand lost over $9 million, and looking back, PewDiePie's concerns feel less exaggerated. The scripted performances, constant promotions, and aggressive monetization he pointed out years earlier only became more visible over time. In that sense, the 5-year-old that will surpass PewDiePie captured an early warning about the direction of Ryan's YouTube channel long before the consequences became obvious. And while Ryan's World shows what happens when fame is pushed too far, Markiplier unknowingly predicted a much larger issue, one that would eventually expose one of the most biggest influencer scams of all time. By the late 2010s, Honey had become impossible to ignore. Every major creator, including Mr. Beast and MKBHD, promoted the extension as free, claiming it automatically applied coupon codes and saved users money at checkout. Markiplier, however, noticed something fishy about the whole project. In one of his videos uploaded in 2019, he paused to share his instinctive distrust of Honey, saying the following:
I have a natural distrust of Honey. I don't know why, but I naturally distrust Honey.
Seemingly convinced that something about the company and the way it operated felt off.
So where's all these savings coming from? And like the money that people get from Honey, I don't trust it. They push so much advertising. They push so much advertising on YouTube. They do brand deals with other YouTubers. I think they've even offered me, and I said no, because I just don't trust Honey.
Markiplier then went on to share his opinion about the whole operation.
But there's some shady shit going on. I can't put my finger upon it. I have a feeling there's gonna, in like a couple years, there's gonna be the great Honey conspiracy of like 2022.
After which, he questioned how a free browser extension could afford such aggressive marketing.
They spend millions on advertising. And then people are getting money out of it, and then people are saving money out of it, and that makes sense, but the other part doesn't make sense, and then something's going on here. Where's all this money coming from?
But at the time, his comments were largely ignored. Screens kept on getting filled with clips of other creators promoting Honey back to back, showing just how normalized the sponsorship had become. But years later, that hesitation aged differently, because in 2024, YouTuber Megalag published a huge breakdown accusing Honey of gross allegations that no one ever expected.
Honey hasn't just been scamming you, the consumer, they've also been stealing money from influencers, including the very ones they paid to promote their product.
According to his investigation, the system was never as harmless as it seemed. Creators promoted the extension using affiliate links, and if viewers made a purchase, they would get a discount after applying the coupons found, while the creator earned a commission. But in practice, something very different was happening, as he would go on to explain.
So what happened when we got to the checkout page? Well, once Honey popped up, watch what happened to Linus's affiliate cookie after we clicked apply discounts. You see that? Honey came in, removed Linus's affiliate cookie, and replaced it with their own, claiming credit for the sale and pocketing the commission money for themselves.
And in all of that, the creator who drove the sale received nothing. Megalag explained this using a system called last click attribution, a model where the final interaction before a purchase gets full credit.
Honey pops up right at the end of your purchasing journey, virtually guaranteeing they'll win that last click. They of course know this and do anything they can to get that last click.
He also revealed that the customer as well received almost no added value, all while Honey rewarded themselves for the sale.
89 points, which is equivalent to 89 cents USD. That's right, Honey poached a $35 commission for doing nothing and rewarded me a grand total of 89 cents. Thanks, PayPal, you really shouldn't have.
And because all of this happened quietly, buried behind cookies and tracking data, creators had no clue that it was happening at all. Once Megalag's video went viral, viewers had everything to say, from quoting Markiplier and agreeing that he was right to be suspicious, to saying things like absolutely wild Honey conspiracies. Markiplier knew the truth all along. Markiplier himself posted a tweet saying, "I knew it," which instantly went viral, gaining over 10 million impressions. And recently, Megalag uploaded 2 more videos digging deeper into the scandal, then followed them up with a post announcement that put the final nail on the coffin, reading, "Honey has just been terminated from the Rakuten network. Additionally, Honey's Rakuten links are no longer active. Honey just lost 2,000 clients. Ouch. Looking back, Markiplier was right to trust his instincts, making his video that once sounded like a harmless hesitation to age like fine wine. And while Markiplier questioned a system that seemed too good to be true, Greg Doucette warned the fitness world about a different kind of deception. Before the Liver King was exposed, he was one of the fastest growing fitness influencers on the internet. His raw meat diet, ancestral lifestyle, and massive physique turned him into a walking spectacle, attracting millions of followers who believed his body was entirely built through discipline, eating raw liver, and being natty. But not everyone bought it. In one video, Greg openly questioned Liver King's claims of being natural, explaining that the physique he displayed simply didn't align with biological reality.
I'm gonna spoil it right now. I don't think he's natural. Don't believe that. And for all the haters, I want to be clear. I believe that there's more than a 50% chance that he's on PEDs.
At the time, this opinion was unpopular, with Liver King's fans dismissing Greg through comments like, "People are probably hating on the natty thing because most are trying to look a certain way, but most won't even with gear. Seems like a good dude." And I must say, if people hate Liver King, I honestly think you're not excited about your own life. He works constantly and is very dedicated regardless if you don't agree. Meanwhile, Liver King continued doubling down, insisting that he had never touched steroids.
There's a lot of subprimals that are convinced that Liver King is taking steroids. Do you think if I was on steroids, I would have these appendages down here? Do you see how little my legs are?
All while promoting supplements tied directly to his image.
So this is what I say to people that make this accusation. If you don't believe this is possible, then I suggest that you take that self-limiting belief, you put that in a box and you bury that next to all your embarrassing and don't open your mouth about it.
But Greg never changed his position because, according to him, selling the idea that a physique like that was achievable naturally while profiting from it had crossed the line.
If I was forced to choose, I'm saying not natural. Does not mean that it's 100% for sure that he's taking something. I just think he is.
Then in late 2022, everything collapsed when leaked emails revealed that Liver King had been spending $11,000 per month on steroids and performance-enhancing drugs, completely contradicting years of public claims. Overnight, it became clear that what Greg had been saying all along wasn't a speculation, but an undeniable fact. After the exposure, Greg responded almost immediately, going through the leaked emails, and then went ahead to give his own opinion about the whole situation, saying the following.
It was, of course, inevitable that eventually someone would find out that Liver King wasn't actually natural. But do I think it's actually going to matter? Do I think it's going to ruin his career, that he's now done, he'll never sell a supplement ever again? Of course not. How many people do you think actually thought he was natural? Well, I in fact did that survey. Only 5% think he's natural.
Looking back, what once sounded like harsh skepticism from Greg ended up being one of the clearest early warnings in fitness YouTube history, making Greg's video age like fine wine. Just as Greg demonstrated how viral success can collapse under scrutiny, Penguin Zero foresaw Hawk Tuah's inevitable downfall and short-lived fame. When the Hawk Tuah girl, whose real name is Haley Welch, went viral,
Give him that Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing, you get me?
the growth was immediate. Her clip spread across social media like a wildfire, and within days, she had become recognizable all over the world. With her fame, she launched the Talk Tuah podcast on September 10th, 2024, which was basically centered around having general conversations about random topics with guests. For a moment, it appeared that the attention might last, but Penguin Zero wasn't convinced. According to him, Hawk Tuah simply didn't have enough engaging material to sustain an audience over time.
Look, I'm not a chef in the kitchen, but I can speculate on the menu. They're gonna be serving up nothing burgers with those conversations. Just a hunch.
And that quickly became evident because despite launching the Talk Tuah podcast and appearing on shows with people like Wiz Khalifa, she still couldn't pull people, and you could tell that it was the guests who were actually carrying the show and not her. Soon, fans started calling out the show's poor quality conversations, making what Penguin Zero had predicted about her podcast to be true. She even went as far as launching her own meme coin, which crashed almost immediately immediately after its value dropped from $490 million to just $24.6 million in a single day. And this, of course, led to accusations of a pump and dump scheme. This only intensified the backlash, with people leaving comments like, "This girl saw dollar signs and took the easy money thinking she would receive little backlash. Her career is over. Can't believe people are so naive still supporting this liar. She 100% knew what she was doing. Her time is up." And put the fries in the bag to a girl. At that point, the pattern Penguin Zero had warned about became impossible to ignore, as interest in Hawk-Tuah's content continued to decline. And while creators had initially rushed to praise Hawk-Tuah's rise and attach themselves to the hype, Penguin Zero was one of the few willing to say what most people didn't want to hear: that without meaningful content, the spotlight wouldn't last. Just as some creators burned bright and faded fast, others took bigger risks to speak out, like PewDiePie, who called out BetterHelp long before anyone questioned the platform's practices. In 2018, BetterHelp had become one of YouTube's most popular sponsors. The online therapy platform was being promoted by creators as an affordable, effective, and convenient alternative to traditional mental health care, which for many sounded like a win-win. Help was finally being normalized, and creators were being paid to spread the message. But PewDiePie noticed that something was off. In a now older video, he briefly talked about BetterHelp, openly questioning why they were advertising mental health services while openly admitting to not helping customers find suitable counselors.
BetterHelp themselves doesn't take any accountability of finding you the right therapist or any accountability for the actions of their therapist. Then what's the point? What do they do?
To him, something was clearly suspicious.
What do? They don't take accountability for anything. You can find a therapist that does phone calls or texting by yourself.
Years later, that skepticism aged differently when, in 2022, reports began surfacing that BetterHelp had shared sensitive user data, including mental health information, with third-party advertisers like Facebook and Snapchat, directly contradicting the platform's earlier assurances about privacy. Then, in 2023, controversy arose when the FTC fined BetterHelp for millions of dollars for their deceptive practices, confirming that the company had misled users about how their personal information was handled. Suddenly, PewDiePie's video proved to be more insightful than many expected, but the issues didn't stop there. To date, users still come forward describing their own experiences through reviews like "tough to be honest" and "they'll take your money." And in hindsight, PewDiePie's concern about BetterHelp immediately became valid. Mental health and therapy was being commercialized, and the creators had become the middleman. And while PewDiePie questioned the sponsors behind the scenes, SunnyV2 focused on creators, showing how a single personal change could ripple through someone's career. In April 2023, Tyson, a longtime collaborator on MrBeast's videos, responded to a tweet from Blix, who had noticed his transformation, publicly revealing that they had begun hormone replacement therapy, making a deeply personal step in their gender transition. "I'm genuinely so glad so many people are learning what HRT is and how it can and has helped so many people. I was super nervous to be public about this because I've always been so private when it comes to this, but seeing conversations started because of me is amazing." Chris had been a fixture in many of MrBeast's projects for years, appearing in videos and challenges that helped the channel grow into the most subscribed one on the platform. Their announcement sparked widespread discussion, with fans and viewers reacting through comments like, "Good for Chris, but surprising to be all these years. I thought they seemed to be the most conservative of the friend group," and "My kids are not allowed to watch his videos anymore." Soon, it became one of the most talked about things on the platform. Amid this conversation, commentary creator SunnyV2 uploaded a video titled "How Will the Chris Tyson Situation Impact MrBeast?" In the video, he analyzed how Chris's transition could impact the team dynamic and the broader perception of the MrBeast brand. Sunny also questioned changes in Chris's public presentation.
For example, on the 6th of January 2023, Beast Reacts uploaded a video titled "I strapped a GoPro to a fish," in which Chris dressed in a way that prompted comments such as, "Chris has been adopting more and more traits that remind me of my grandmother,"
showing times where Chris went as far as making MrBeast uncomfortable in his own video.
"Make these bizarre jokes about Jimmy being female, making him incredibly uncomfortable."
"Oh my god, Jimmy, look, they drew you. Jimmy, they drew you so well. It looks just like you. Nice shirt.
Nice shoes."
and questioning what it could mean for the image of MrBeast's channel.
The problem is, this type of situation is probably the last thing that MrBeast wants to attract, as he's forced to agree with Chris's position, as he has no way of manipulating the situation without being painted as the bad guy.
The video quickly went viral, attracting over 10 million views and sparking intense debate across platforms. Such an L to Sunny V2 new video. Bro is being outright transphobic to Chris. Comment Sunny V2 L. Sunny V2 just being openly transphobic now. On the same day, MrBeast addressed the controversy directly, saying, yeah, this is getting absurd. Chris isn't my nightmare, he's my effing friend, and things are fine. All this transphobia is starting to piss me off. However, in 2024, the situation evolved in ways that few could have predicted, when Chris's chats with an underage fan named Lava went viral. The leaks included conversations from years earlier, like one screenshot where Lava claimed that Chris had been sending him weird snaps, making weird faces and captioning "coming for America." He even went on to admit that Chris is a different man off camera, something that many viewers found concerning. While Lava later clarified that they did not feel victimized, the screenshots still made people begin to look at Chris and the entire MrBeast brand differently. Within days, Chris announced on X that they were stepping away from all of things MrBeast and social media through a post that read, "I would like to apologize for any of my past behavior or comments if it hurt or offended anyone. It was not my intent. Seeing recent events, we've mutually decided it's best I permanently step away from all things MrBeast and social media to focus on my family and mental health." MrBeast also publicly responded, stating, "Over the last few days, I've become aware of the serious allegations of Ava Chris Tyson's behavior online, and I am disgusted and opposed to such unacceptable acts. During that time, I have been focused on hiring an independent third party to conduct a thorough investigation to ensure I have all the facts. That said, I've seen enough online and taken immediate action to remove Ava from the company, my channel, and any association with MrBeast. I do not condone or support any of the inappropriate actions." Looking back, Sunny V2's video now feels like an early marker in a much larger story, foreshadowing the intense attention that would follow when Chris's past actions resurfaced. And while Sunny V2 analyzed how controversy could affect a brand's future, the Completionist unknowingly foreshadowed his own downfall long before it hit the headlines. For years, Gerard Khalil, better known as the Completionist, was one of the most trusted figures on YouTube. His gaming channel was built on consistency and transparency, but buried in his older videos was one video where Gerard briefly expressed his doubts as to whether he would still be producing content in the future.
But yeah, I just wanted to do a little brain dump, a little house cleaning kind of stuff, and then, you know, hopefully talk about the future, and if there is one. It's kind of bleak, isn't it? Oof. This went weird. Don't read into it, I swear to God.
At the time, his comments felt harmless, just a creator being honest about burnout. However, years later, that clip would take on an entirely different meaning. In November 2023, YouTubers Carl Jobs and Mudahar accused Gerard and his charity, the Open Hand Foundation, of withholding over $600,000 in donations meant for dementia research, money that had been raised years back, as Carl went on to explain.
Is that since its inception in 2014, the Open Hand Foundation has not contributed a single cent to any organization. For the past 10 years, they have raised over $600,000, and it's all just sitting in their bank account.
The accusation shocked the platform, with people responding through comments like, "A dementia charity forgetting to disburse donations. Sometimes jokes write themselves. This is why you always donate directly to charities. Never do it through a third party," which is exactly what Open Hand is. And when Carl tried to get a statement from the charity foundation, asking whether they felt it was okay to keep asking for donations all while not donating even a single cent, he received a response that read, "The insinuation of wrongdoing on the part of the Open Hand Foundation is both unwarranted and unfounded. We conduct our operations within the bounds of legal and ethical standards, and any implication to the contrary is baseless," seemingly dismissing the severity of the allegations. Then a month later, Gerard uploaded a 19-minute response video where he revealed that the money had finally been donated.
The Open Hand Foundation has donated $600,000 to the Association for Frontotemporal Degeneration. However, it did take too long to get to this moment,
after which he stepped down from his role at the charity.
As the Open Hand Foundation board is currently restructuring, I am taking this time to step away from my role as a board member. I am no longer a part of the Open Hand Foundation.
However, he insisted that he had done nothing illegal, then completely disappeared. Aside from a short Twitch appearance in early 2024, which was later deleted, Gerard remained silent for over a year, and during that silence, speculation only intensified. It wasn't until September 2025 that he finally returned with a 45-minute update, where he revealed that the situation had escalated into the Department of Justice, which was triggered after the charity was mass reported following the exposés.
I was being accused of embezzlement and charity fraud, with Carl and Mudahar directing their viewers to report my family's charity to the authorities, prompting a criminal investigation by the Department of Justice.
While he expressed confidence that the accusations of fraud and embezzlement would be disproven,
and I am still absolutely confident that the accusations of fraud and embezzlement will be proven false.
He also admitted to serious moral failures, empty promises, and mistakes that allowed the situation to spiral.
However, even if we never broke the law, serious moral mistakes were still made by myself and the foundation. The Open Hand took far too long to donate. We never explained why it took so long until after everyone called us out. And I lied about this for all of Indieland's years.
Looking back, his earlier clip hit differently. At the time, his rant was brushed off as just an overreaction. But years later, as the internet became more aware of how online behavior can spill into real-world harm, his warning feels disturbingly accurate. And while some warnings come from instinct, others were far more serious, calling out dangerous behavior that most people ignored and ended up costing lives. TJ Kirk, also known online as the Amazing Atheist, was an outspoken American YouTuber who often tackled topics about religion, politics, and social issues. He was never afraid to call out behavior he thought was dangerous or misguided, and that's exactly what he did on June 8, 2007, when he uploaded a video rant about people online who admired the Columbine shooters, Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold. In the video, he expressed concerns about their supporters and offered to share details about them.
And I want to talk about these kids, and not just kids, there's adults too, who seem to extol Eric and Dylan here on YouTube. I'll link to all of their profiles once again, so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about.
After which, he delivered a chilling warning saying,
But I think that, you know, those people are the kind of people you want to be keeping your eye on. We're always talking about warning signs, and could we have seen it coming? Well, you know what? If you want to look for warning signs, there they are.
Among the profiles he highlighted was Natural Selector 89, a Finnish teenage YouTuber who just 5 months after TJ's video went live, went on to kill 7 students and his principal at a high school before shooting himself in the head. After the incident, TJ expressed his frustration and disappointment in a new video saying,
It was something that I warned you would happen. Something that I told you to be mindful of. And you didn't. You weren't mindful of it, you criticized me for it.
Despite the grim circumstances, his prediction brought him attention online, with many praising him for seeing something others had ignored all the way through. Looking back, TJ's rant almost felt prophetic. Mass shootings were becoming a regular part of everyday news, and the warning signs he pointed out seemed eerily relevant even years later. If you enjoyed this video, you'll probably like these ones as well, and don't forget to subscribe.